day I chose not to let anything win but my drive to get me to the top.
Frank Lee made the beat.
What it do, KTTeeV? This is KT, and I'm coming at you live with another episode of the Daily K Podcast. And on today's episode, we have Mr. J. Antonio Florence, candidate for District Judge, ballot number 81. How you doing today, Mr. Florence?
Doing great. I thank you again for having me on. I appreciate you. Doing very well and blessed. Thank you.
Man, I appreciate you for taking some time out. When you think about a 25-year incumbent, you think about we in the thick of things, and man, and so every minute is precious, man. So I thank you for giving us a few minutes, man.
Thank you. And on that 25-year incumbent part, I want to make this a point. 25-year incumbent has two meanings, right? A person who's been there entrenched working for us for 25 years, or a person who's been there for 25 years doing nothing. My incumbent fits the latter.
Yes, there we go. There we go.
Look at her record or lack thereof will tell you what she has not been doing for 25 years.
There we go, man. And so before I get started into the interview, man, I like to just do a wellness check. And especially with you out, campaigning and really getting your message out, man. How have you been doing during the pandemic? And how are you really staying safe out on the campaign trail?
Yes, sir. I appreciate that question. Thank you. As you can see, I actually stepped out here outside to do the Skype, trying to keep as much fresh air with us as possible. We obviously wear face masks. Generally, what we do on our campaign, our canvassing, we'll have two. If we have more people, it'll be family members. For example, if a mother has her daughter and her kids out, they'll be doing the canvassing. We definitely are social distancing, keeping our 6 feet distance. Let me turn this off real quick. Definitely face masks. We got hand sanitizers. We haven't had my own personal hand sanitizer with my name and logo on it. We've been using it up like crazy. So definitely social distancing, face mask, and being aware of our surroundings.
Yes, sir. Got to stay safe, and social distancing and mask up are two of the ways that we fight it, man. So sound like you're on a good track, man. So, man, can you give us a little bit about your background, even in law, and how did you even get into criminal justice, man?
I'm gonna start backwards with that. I'm a black man. Every day I go to court, those judges remind me that I am a black man. The law enforcement and the law reminds me that I am a black man. And I thank God every morning that I'm reminded of that. A black man in America, we are treated differently. We can't deny that. That's the elephant in the room. We're afraid to talk about it. Oh, you're playing the race card. That's not the race card. That's the reality. Simple as that. Being a black man in America, I know that sounds cliche, but it's the truth. The things I've experienced, the things I've gone to, I had no choice, really. If I wanted real change in my life, in my world, I had to get into the legal system to try to change it from within.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That's it, man. That's it. And so how long, just total, how many years have you been doing this thing?
Total about 20 years. I've been a lawyer in Louisiana for about 13 years. But prior to that, yes, sir. Prior to that, what I've been doing, working in communities, I was in New Orleans, for example, before they tore down St. Thomas projects. We was working hard, fighting down there, trying to bring justice to the people before I even became a lawyer. So I've always been, in my mind, doing this and doing it for the people.
I know you said
yes,
every day that when you go to court, you're reminded that you're a black man. So
yes, sir.
As you're running for this bench, and when people come into your courtroom, what type of judge will you be? And what lasting impression do you want to have on others?
Man, that's actually a very easy question. The type of judge I'm going to be is the type of man that I am. Ain't no changing. I'm honest. I'm fair. I'm straightforward. I answer the questions that people have. I'm not a politician. And those are some of the things that we need on that bench. I resisted for years, even thinking about running for judge, because I don't like politics. I don't like politicians. But an older gentleman, he told me that's exactly what we need on that bench. People who aren't trying to be politicians, people who are doing it because they want to do the job. And that's the man I've been. That's the man I will continue to be. And that's the impression I'd want to leave on people, that I'm fair, that I'm honest, and that all things will be equal. No, one side for them and one side for us. It's equal. Level playing field.
Yeah, and that brings me to my next question. As we look at incarcerations in Louisiana, we think of disparities of race, opportunity to counsel, How do you define injustice, and what reforms do you support to give access to justice for all?
Man, injustice is first you got to find justice, right? Justice is that thing that exists when the law is equal on all playing fields. Injustice is any violation of that, right? So if I go into a courtroom and I don't receive fairness or equality in whatever forms, regardless of who I am, my standing in society, my education, that is injustice, period, right? So the programs that I look forward to, implementing that help bring some justice back to the system would be knowledge of what we really do. Most people don't even know what judges do in that courtroom because sadly, they're on the bench for maybe 2 hours, then they disappear. Some of them go home, right? So I look forward to bringing young kids into the courtroom, meaning mentorships. Judges know everybody and they have access to everybody, to other judges, lawyers, law enforcement, medical personnel, courtroom staff, clerks, reporters, everybody. So bring in a group of people, and not once a year, not every, but every week, having small groups of kids coming into the courtroom and grouping them up with mentors. For example, if you get a group of kids that say, hey, we want to be doctors, talk to the medical experts, the coroners, the doctors, the DNA experts that come in, and have them couple with these kids and in the courtroom talking about what they do. So these kids can go back and be at home and be like, hey, man, I saw some amazing stuff in that courtroom today. And so being the mediator in that sense of connecting these mentorships. And again, not once a year, not every school semester, but every week, bringing kids in to where that they can see and have some real examples that they can touch and ask questions of.
And how would you fight for the indigent and
the way
underserved?
So a lot of times, and it's true, man, I resisted. I used to, the saying that money pays for representation. The more money you have, the better. I hated that phrase. I hated that concept, but sadly it's true in our system. It's so true. I was speaking to a young lawyer today about that very fact. And the way I do it is I have a lot of clients, way more clients than I should have. Because for me, it's about numbers and how many people I can reach and how many people I can represent. It's not about the dollars. Because she was asking me the question, man, how can you afford to do what you do when you don't charge that much money? A lot of cases I do for free. For example, misdemeanor cases, I do for free. On a daily basis, if I see a young man having an issue, like, man, I don't know what to do, can you help me out? Instead of charging him $500 for something, it's only 10 minutes worth of work. I take care of it for him. I don't charge him anything because he's going to remember my name. If something comes up down the road, he needs to start a business, he'll come back to me because he knows I treated him fairly. And I don't want to say giving away anything because I'm not giving away anything, right? I'm just not asking for money in return. So helping the underserved, helping the indigent in those ways by remembering that sometimes you got to stop asking for a handout and help people up.
So I talked to Brian Middleton, like that's the first African-American district attorney in Fort Bend. And one of his initiatives coming in was saying that he really wanted to address the school to prison pipeline. And so what work have you been doing before, or what do you plan to do, in that time outside of the chambers to address that situation?
I'm the only lawyer that I know of in Caddo Parish, Shreveport, that has started an intern programs. It's nothing formal. I've high school students will contact me and say, hey, I'm looking for a job. I flip it and turn it into an internship program. So during the summers, I'll pay them $20 an hour. Really what they're doing is a shadowing program. I'll give them some work so that they feel comfortable and feel some confidence in doing things. I'll take them to court with me, give them files, certain level of files. I'm not going to give them murder files or anything like that, nothing too graphic, but giving them files, things that they can work on, teaching them about the law and the processes that we go through on a daily basis. And again, at the end of that internship program, I teach them how to write resumes. During the entire summer, they've been collecting business cards from these lawyers and doctors that I was mentioning, and they learn to write letters, thank you letters, and networking letters. So that at the end of that internship, they've got awesome resumes, they've got a great networking, they've got some money in their pocket, and they've got some confidence that, hey, they can do some of the stuff that I've been doing. So doing those type programs, what I just did is I took a kid who would have spent the whole summer playing video games on the street corner, maybe doing nothing, getting into some trouble, right? I've given them something that will last them forever. So that, I think, and that's just me. That's just one person. If more of us could step up and do those type things, that's just one type of thing that we can do to break that cycle of literally from the cradle to the prison, right? And we got to stop that. That's just us giving our time, giving some of our money and our efforts to bring that, to destroy that prisoner pipeline system.
As we look at that, knowing everything starts in the community. And
Yes,
so
sir.
I will say that I appreciate the work you've been doing. And now, as we turn globally, we look at the relationship that's being formed between law enforcement in the community around the country. No different. I think I was at home a few weeks ago, and it was during the time when downtown was kind of rough, and so you had people on both sides. So how do you begin to address that relationship with policing and in the community?
All right. It starts on both sides, right? We all have to be accountable and responsible. But there's a trust that officers, law enforcement do not have and will not have in our communities because of the way we've been treated. And people talk about 40 years, man, let's go back 400 years of the treatment that we've received, right? So this is something I recommend. And it's going to take money, but it'll save a lot of money. Every couple of years, Shreveport Police, the Sheriff's Office, the Marshals, they're buying new vehicles, new computer systems, new whatever, right? They're upgrading their offices. I recommend that they take a small substation in every community, a small substation, a 2-room, 3-room with a bathroom in the community. Don't give that officer a gun. Don't give him a car. Give him basketball. Every morning, his job is simply to take that basketball and dribble up and down the street until he sees a young man or a young woman come up to him. Say, hey, y'all want to play basketball? Simple as that, right? And just play basketball with him. That's his only job. Through that basketball, through those conversations, they're going to be talking and getting comfortable with each other. So when something does happen, 6 months down the road, years down the road, those kids going to remember, hey, Officer so-and-so, that was a cool dude. He played basketball with me. Let me go tell him some issues we have. Getting that trust back from something as simple as, again, putting, a little bit of effort back in the community so people can have that trust. But the people in the community are going to have to be brave enough to say, hey, we invite y'all to our community. Come sit down and have lunch with me. Leave your guns there, take off your uniform, just come sit down, have Sunday dinner with me. We ain't got to talk about police work. We can talk about cartoons, we can talk about whatever. Having those continual relationships, again, to where 6 months, a year down the road, Miss Janie, who's having a problem with the neighbor across the street, hey man, let me call Officer John. I got his personal cell phone right here. We got some issues. Officer John, come on over, help me deal with this situation. So developing those, taking those, what sounds like simple steps can be lasting and change our communities forever. Simply by putting their guns down, leaving their patrol cars and sirens, leave them. Get a basketball, a baseball, or whatever, and just get in the community. Play with us a little bit.
Yeah, man. That's it, man. That's it. It's all about the empathy.
That's not radical at all.
No, man. No. That's the human. That's human nature, man. Like you got to first look human to me, man. Look accessible, and so after that, then I can kind of start believing you. Because right now, man, it's looking like they machines or something.
Exactly. And that's how they come at us. They approach us with that mentality, and of course, we're going to respond accordingly.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
If you're jacking me up in the community, treating me with disrespect, how can I respect you?
Yeah. I agree, man. Because it's my neighborhood.
There you go.
Yes, sir, man. So as we get ready to wrap it up,
yes, sir.
One last time,
Yes, sir.
On election day, why should I vote for Mr. J. Florence?
Man, you should vote, period. You should vote for me because I'm the only candidate who's really about change. Those old hat candidates, they can't run on change because if they ran on change, they would be asking you to get rid of them, right? Again, we know what a person's going to do. If a person's been doing something for 20, 25 years, that's pretty much what they're going to do tomorrow, right? And if you believe that Caddo Parish is okay and doesn't need change, then okay, don't vote for me. But I can't think of anyone that truly believes that. And if you want change in Caddo Parish, all we have to do is change. Vote number 81 on your ballot. I'm a man of my word. I answer the questions. I'm not a politician. I truly believe in Caddo Parish and that change can truly come. And I welcome everyone to join us. We need your help. We need your support. We're not going to have this opportunity ever, and we cannot miss this opportunity. So please, not just on November 3rd. Early election starts October 16th to the 27th. Get out there, early vote. I don't know about y'all, but I believe November 3rd is going to be the craziest day in American history.
Ooh.
Don't try to wait and vote on that day. Please don't wait and vote on that day. Get out there. Let's change this community. Give me the ability to give us back the power. That's what I want to do. That's what my candidacy is about. Giving the people back the power, giving them access back to these systems that we've been neglected so long.
Man, and if I want to support the campaign, how do I get there and donate or volunteer, whatever?
Man, we are out there literally every day knocking on doors, doing the hard work, putting out signs, asking for people's support. You can go on Facebook, Instagram. We got a webpage. It's J Florence for Judge 2020. That's the letter J, Florence, the number 4, Judge 2020. Again, Facebook, Instagram, we're the website. We got the phone numbers on there. My campaign manager, her name is Angela Willis. Please contact her. She's setting up where we're taking volunteers who are willing to knock on doors, make phone calls for us. I believe we have Cash App, PayPal. If people want to donate, we'll take any amount. All of us don't have $2,500. I don't expect anyone to pay $2,500. But if you got $2, we'll take it. Anything that can help to support us to keep this movement going, to keep that message out there, we are thankful for it and grateful. And we're definitely thankful to you, Mr. Kendrick, for putting us on, giving us this opportunity so people can hear us.
Yes, sir, man. I appreciate the time, man. I think that will do it. I look forward to getting this out, man, so that we can share what you're doing with everybody, man. So thank you for your work.
Thank you, Mr. Kendrick. And November 4th, I'm looking forward to keeping these relationships to make our community better.
Yes, sir. Coming back and talk about the triumph.
I'm leaving. Hey, gotta be, and not just talk about the triumphs, talking about ways we can keep making our communities better.
Yes, sir.
I want to keep going as well, Mr. Kendrick.
Yes, sir.
So thank you.
All right, thank you. This is KT for KTTeeV signing out. 100.